Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah and the Mu'tamid of his school, they say that kissing with or without sexual feelings does not nullify the wudu, and that the only mubashara that does is sexual intercourse. Now, the Hanafi scholars do warn from overindulging in kissing or touching or what have you, but it's not a nullifier of wudu. The Shafi'is are on the other end of the spectrum and are the most conservative. Imam al-Shafi'i and the Mu'tamid of the Shafi'i school say that direct skin-to-skin contact nullifies wudu. Direct skin-to-skin contact nullifies wudu. So they would exercise a higher degree of caution. In the middle of the spectrum are Imams Ahmed and Malik ibn Anas radiyallahu anhuma. They both say, and their mu'tamid is, the wudu is not nullified by skin-to-skin contact unless there is desire that accompanies it. Unless there is desire that accompanies that act. So if someone is in i'tikaf and they have Imam Shafi'i's position, they do have to be careful, not just for their wudu, because obviously if it's nullifying wudu, there may be other conditions that come in there. They have to be careful. Those taking the understanding of Imams Malik and Ahmad ibn Hanbal, they have to be careful. Because if there's desire that goes with it, and if they kiss their wife or they touch their wife, they happen to often feel desire, there is a danger of what? Of something coming out. For the Hanafis, they would not have to exercise that level of stringency, but still, the respect for the fast and what it represents, they would have to be careful. Because for the Hanafis, touching with or without desire doesn't nullify wudu. But everyone's agreed that sexual intercourse does nullify i'tikaf. But what goes under i'tikaf, that's where the dispute is. So you have to be very diligent and careful when you discuss these matters. Imam Ibn Al-Jawzi rahimahullah, he says, quote, i'tikaf in the Arabic language means to stand alone and remain in a place. So in Arabic they say, so-and-so is mu'takif on something, or he's aakif on something, or he's mu'takif on something. This is a praiseworthy action, except in the place where a man vows to do i'tikaf. If he makes a vow to Allah that he shall do i'tikaf, it is wajib for him to do so. And i'tikaf, when someone has made a vow, must be fulfilled. It is not permissible to do i'tikaf except in a masjid where there are jama'at for salah established. However, it's not a condition for the woman that she has to do i'tikaf in a masjid where a jama'at is established, because it is not compulsory upon her to attend the jama'at salah. The question then comes to the mind of a person is i'tikaf valid without one fasting outside of Ramadan? Imam Ahmed rahimahullah has two positions on this matter regarding the situation. As for the statement of Allah, those are the boundaries of Allah, Ibn Abbas radiallahu anh says that means that going in unto them is one of the approaches of the boundaries of Allah, so don't come near to them. As Zujaj says that don't come near to them in that ayah means the boundaries that Allah has forbidden one to cross. So it's not permissible to not only cross them, but to even come near them. The origin in Arabic of the word al-had, or boundary, means a wall or something hindering movement. Just remember that the wall of a house does what? It's what keeps other people from entering into the house. And the haddad in Arabic is the veil or the door. And anything that hinders other things from getting inside of it is called a haddad. The Exalted One has also said, and likewise Allah makes His signs clear to humanity so that they might fear. It means He explains these matters and mentions them and goes into depth so that humanity might know the truth. Allah the Exalted further says, وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَكُمْ بَيْنَكُمْ بِالْبَاطِلِ وَتُدْلُوا بِهَا إِلَّا الْحُكَّامِ لِتَأْكُلُوا فَرِيقًا مِّنْ أَمْوَالِ النَّاسِ بِالْإِثْمِ وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ يسألونك عن الأهلة قل هي مواقيت للناس والحج وليس البر بأن تأتوا البيوت من ظهورها ولكن البر من اتقى وأتوا البيوت من أبوابها واتقوا الله لعلكم تفلحون وقاتلوا في سبيل الله الذين يقاتلونكم ولا تعتدوا إن الله لا يحب المعتدين. Do not consume your wealth among each other in falsehood, so that the case has to be brought to the judges, and so that a group of you might consume the wealth of the people in falsehood and in sin while you know better. They ask you about the crescent moons. Say, they are the markers of time for people and also to know the Hajj. Righteousness is not that you come to your houses from the backs of them, but righteousness is whoever has piety and fear of Allah. So enter into your homes from their doors and fear Allah so that you might be successful. And fight in the cause of Allah those who fight you, and do not transgress. Indeed, Allah does not love the transgressors. Surat Al-Baqarah, ayat 188 to 190. So do not consume your wealth among one another in falsehood. The reason for the revelation of this ayah is that Imr al-Qais ibn Abis, Abdan al-Hadrami, they had a dispute regarding a tract of land. And Abdan was the one seeking a right, but he had no clear proof for him. And Imr al-Qais wanted for him to take an oath. The Prophet ﷺ recited to him, إن الذين يشترون بعهد الله وأيمانهم ثمنا قليلا. Those who buy for the covenant of Allah and their oaths a paltry price, let them beware. Surah Al-Imran, the 3rd Surah, 77. So, Abdan, he did not want to swear an oath, and he did not dispute about the tract of land. So this ayah was sent down with regard to that matter. This is the understanding of a group from among them, Sa'id ibn Jubayr. And the ayah means that one of you should not consume and steal the wealth of the other one. Just as when Allah said in the ayah, فَاقْتُلُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ, so kill one another of yourselves. That means among yourselves. So do not, among the people that you're transacting with, steal or consume one another's wealth in falsehood. Al-Qadi Abu Ya'la, the elder, has said, the falsehood referred to is two. One of them is that you take someone's wealth without right from the owner. This is like theft or trickery or treachery, because you are taking their wealth through deceptive means. Or, number two, you take their wealth, or you take a hold of wealth by despicable means, such as taking wealth from gambling, or singing, or wind and string instruments, or the profits that come from intoxicants. As Zujaj has also said that in this case, the falsehood also refers to oppression. And so that it might have to be brought to the judge means that the case is brought to the judges and it has to be resolved. And the matter has to be discussed, and that because you've broken the trust, well, you know the proof is against you in reality. So the matter of what's being brought to the judges is the wealth that has been stolen, the oppression that's been brought in, and the judges have to oversee this. The dispute has to be brought before the judges. And the position regarding this is that the falsehood will lead to sin, and that the sin will increase in the earth if you take this matter to the judges without devolving the matter amongst yourselves. Close quote. So what this is referring to, when it has to be brought to the judges, the major ulama, don't let it get that far. Why? Well, because the punishment's going to be handed out. If you're found to be in contempt regarding the theft of someone's property or their wealth, it's better to settle it among yourselves. Well, why? Well, because if it's satisfactorily proven among the ulama, what will happen? Your hand will be amputated. That's what's going to happen. Or you'll be lashed, or money will have to be taken out of the Muslim treasury to recompense the damage that you've done. So try to resolve it among yourselves before the matter has to be brought to the qadis. Because once you rush to the qadis and you bring the matter to them, they will judge without any emotionalism. Righteous qadis will judge without emotionalism, without any due care for any personal friendly references. They're looking at the pure, revealed, infallible law. Because you failed to solve the matter among yourselves, it had to be brought to them. And they're going to judge justly, and something could happen on the result of that. Especially if someone's lying and it's proven that they've lied. But let's say if someone did lie and they concealed it in such a way that maybe they got away with it, well, now oppression comes because maybe a ruling is passed where a person that was innocent is killed, or a person that is innocent suffers amputation of their hand. Now, this then brings in a position among the ulama, just very quickly, called the Radd al-Shubuhat. Radd al-Shubuhat is probative measures. Probative measures. The Hanafi scholars are the strictest in probative measures. They say, in criminal law, it is better that if there is a doubtful affair, that a man who is guilty may be spared the penalty of death, than that an innocent man is wrongly killed. As the probative measure, the Radd al-Shubuhat, a probative measure. On the other end of the spectrum are the Hanbalis and some Malikis. It is better to exercise maximum stringency For if we have been as thorough as possible and an innocent man is killed, as mujtahids, we are not called to account for that. And number two, that man is a shaheed, isn't he? But to allow an innocent person, to allow a person that is guilty to go free, would lead to a criminal becoming emboldened, in which he may inform his companions, and then corruption will spread in the earth, and we will have to be more stringent than we had been in the past. This is the difference in Radd al-Shubuhat regarding the death penalty.